Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of Swiss Army Sports. I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper of the Detroit Trojans, also P Governors, Transportable Demon, part-time Houston player, joined today by my co-host, Luke Wallman, former offensive lineman for the Hendrick Warriors, D3 athlete. Producing the show is Michael Spain, resident frat boy. This is episode 6. Today is September 14th, 2025. It was yet another great weekend of college football, followed up by a wonderful Sunday in NFL football. Some crazy games today.
Yeah, some electric stuff from everybody.
Electric stuff. We will get into all of that, but let's go through our agenda. We've got a week 3 recap for college football. We have our first coaches fired of 2025. The painting meter is back this Sunday. Our dogs of the week for college. Then we're going to dip into our Swiss Army Sports top 25 poll. And just for those that don't know, that is just me, Luke, and Michael voting. We average it out. That's what we get. So for the first time since week 1, you're going to see some receiving votes, but we've got quite a few more. Yeah. We did not agree as much as we usually have after this week. Then we're going to get into the NFL Week 2 recap. We are currently watching the Minnesota Vikings skull against the Atlanta Falcons. Luke supporting the Reggie Bush jersey today.
Yeah, throwback.
Little throwback.
This thing's crap.
Absolutely. I'm supporting Jay Jettas as he's playing. Then we're going to get into the NFL teams of the week and teams that are weak. Then our Monday Night Football preview and best bets. Little Noche, UFC recap, great card, and not listed on the agenda, but a little surprise segment at the end, just showing how we encompass all sports across the world, giving us our name. Our picks. Well, rough week.
Yeah, no. Starting with the first little slate, or first game against Troy. I know you got a rant, so I'm just going to give the floor to you and let you go.
Here's the thing. This is the second year in a row Goose Crowder's gone out with injury against Memphis. This time, it's rumored to be a broken collarbone. That's at least 6 weeks, if not more. We can't catch a break. Memphis has not faced a healthy Troy quarterback yet. And let me just talk about what happened after we lost Goose. Tucker Kilfreeze, love him to death. He is a great kid. But holy crap, 4 for 18 after 3 quarters. I literally thought I was watching a middle school football player try to play Division I football.
That's disrespectful to the middle school football player.
I mean, I think I genuinely, in my current state, could have gone out there and done better than 4 for 18 for like 7 yards. It was atrocious. Any faith I had in this team after the Clemson game has quickly vanished. We will not be able to do anything without Goose Crowder unless they make the move to freshman quarterback Jack James, which they should. But my mighty Trojan defense was unbelievable that night for having to play as much as they had to play. Because offense was 3 and out. Evan Crenshaw texted me after the game that he was exhausted. He's the punter, by the way. 11 punts. 11 punts. He said we would get the ball, and he would go, oh, hell, got to punt again.
I mean, great punts, though.
He's a great day. Player of the game for Memphis Troy, Evan Crenshaw, 11 punts. I'm sure he averaged way more than 40 yards. He had a couple of nukes.
Yeah.
But Luke, you correctly called it. Again, I think there's a big asterisk about this game.
I will say your right tackle absolutely got him killed because the dude came off the edge. Nobody touched him, and then he just died.
Yeah.
So as soon as that happened, I was like, oh well, this is last year all over again.
You had a touchdown taken back. No, it's Mandel Field. It's brutal. If Goose stays in this game, I think Troy's very competitive and almost wins, especially since Memphis only managed to score 28 points while having probably the ball 75% of the time. They struggled against Troy's defense. Given as much opportunities as they had, you would have thought they would at least scored 35, 42. Yet they gave up a touchdown, the only touchdown of the game, to the mighty Trojan defense. Another back-to-back weeks. We've had a defensive touchdown.
Defense scored more than offense, I think.
Dude, the offense literally made me want to gouge my eyes out with the forks in your house. I mean, it was awful.
For reference, our living room, we have 3 TVs set up in there. It was a main TV for about the first half. It got moved up to the top because of how bad it was. I mean, it was.
And we were both invested in this game. Yeah. And it was so bad by Troy's offense that we had to move it. Question for you. And since you do know about Troy now, I'll ask for your opinion. Jared Parker, how hot is the seat for the Troy head coach?
Oh, God. I mean, I really think it depends on this next week. Because
going to Buffalo,
this should be a game you easily win. Buffalo, I wish Kent State would have pulled it out, but Buffalo was barely able to beat Kent State this weekend. If you go up there and you lose to Buffalo, I'd be on board to just fire them immediately. Because Buffalo is a terrible MAC team. So, but
really struggled against Kent State.
Mm-hmm. But you have the defense played well. Obviously, your quarterback getting hurt. It's not like he played the whole game and the offense was that bad. I mean, there is, like you said, a little bit of an asterisk to that. So I think the seat's getting a little warmer. But I wouldn't say he's on the hot seat right now.
Apologize for any audio issue we just had. Realized I did not have the control computer on mute. We do now. It didn't sound bad on our headphones, but you never know with this low budget operation over here how it'll sound on Spotify and YouTube. But we do apologize to our faithful listeners out there. Let's move on. I'm tired of talking about this Troy team. I'm going to say he's on the hot seat, and if we lose to Buffalo, get rid of him. And I love Jared Parker as a guy. It's time. It's time to make a move. There are plenty of coaches in high caliber situations that have been putting their program on the rise that would love to come coach at Troy. It's a G5 program with a lot of history. It's almost time. I'm not saying it's time, and I was a big Jared Parker believer when I was there, and I still am. And I don't think he's actually the problem, but something needs to be changed, whether that's offensive coordinator, Sean Reagan, or head coach. So we will see under this new AD at Troy. Moving on, like I had said, Clemson headed to Atlanta, Georgia, and lost in the most heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
Missed that pick. Did love seeing a fire drill, 55-yard field goal, getting drilled by Georgia Tech. Luke, you had it right.
I mean, I was high on Georgia Tech coming into the season. Obviously, I was also high on Clemson. They were my national champion. But what I saw out of Clemson from week 1 was LSU's a great team. Then you go to Troy. This is where, you go kill someone because you're pin up. No, I know, but you're pin up. You're supposed to be a top team. This is where you establish your offense, you get in a rhythm, so you can go into Georgia Tech and play well. But this offense looked like Kate Klubnik looked lost the whole game. I mean, it was, and Hayes King, dude, that man's a dog.
He is a dog.
He's been in college for 7 years or something, but he's a dog. And that is, when I saw the Troy game, I was like, Hayes King's going to lead them to victory. And I have no doubt about it. And what he did, so.
There you go. Arguably the game of the week, Georgia headed into Knoxville, and just as I predicted, this Tennessee program just doesn't win that game. It's not that game. Or kicker, though.
I know. I got
All-star, backs him up 5 yards, very makeable 42-yard attempt. He absolutely crapped his pants, and that's all she wrote. Yeah. After he missed that and went to overtime, I knew.
Yeah, I think everyone knew. And
yeah.
Then in overtime, he hit the same exact kick, I think, that he had to win the game. I'm just sitting there like, oh, man. Because he's from the Memphis area, for those who don't know. And, Sam was friends with him. There's this ad he's got, for this cookie shop that people were trolling him about. And I'm pretty sure this dude's about to get death threats in Knoxville. Because I think he did the same thing last year in one of their bigger games. And I saw some Tennessee podcasts coming into the week on my reels. And they were like, Max Gilbert, what do you think about him? And they're like, he's been all right. Hit 22 straight kicks coming into this game.
No, you can't place the blame on the kicker.
I know.
You got to place the blame on the offensive lineman that jumped to back him up 5 yards, ruined his whole mental. Do you have to make that kick? Absolutely. Does he deserve any sort of threats? No.
But this is Knoxville.
This is Knoxville. Hey, you know what kind of people come out of Knoxville. Yeah, USF headed into Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, Florida. We were a little too overzealous.
It was a hard pick.
It was a hard pick, and we apologize to any people that would have taken that. That we shouldn't be doing that. And
Producer got one right though.
yeah, and the producer finally is on the board, and the only time he's on the board this week, he picks Miami. We both played USF. It just Miami's defense too much. USF third, extremely tough game in a row. I mean, you saw the fatigue as JJ McCarthy reaches for the first.
He got it.
I think he got it. That's a good spot. I think they marked him a little bit short. USF just didn't have it. Don't get me wrong. Oh, wow, he got that.
Yeah.
I think this USF team is still legit. I just think for any team in the country that had to play ranked Boise State, ranked Florida on the road, and then go to Miami, ranked Miami, I don't think
And
anybody could have gone through that stretch without a little bit of a falter. And USF showed some weakness. They couldn't score a whole lot of field goals. Miami, Carson Beck looked great, torched them. But we'll talk about it later. But I'm settle down, Bulls fans. We're gonna be all right.
And one more thing, cannot believe they got dropped from the AP poll.
Oh, atrocious. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Luke, don't know what Michael's thinking here. This had LSU written all over it.
Yeah.
And it did the entire game. DJ Legway looks atrocious. Apologies for even calling him something good at the beginning of the year. Not much else to say. We got LSU right.
Mhm.
Heartbreaker for the holder in South Bend, Indiana. Cannot believe A&M was able to go into Notre Dame and get that game-winning drive. Shout out to the Aggies, I guess. But I think this has a lot more about Notre Dame's inability to finish.
Yeah.
You'll see him on a little bit of a segment later.
Yep. I can't believe he dropped that hold. I mean, it was perfect. I thought bad snap.
No,
initially.
perfect snap.
It was perfect. And he folded. And if he wouldn't have panicked on their fire drill,
They had it open.
dude, if he just would have set his feet and kind of threw it, I think he would have got him. But obviously that was not the case.
And last but not least, the Vanderbilt Commodores headed into Columbia, South Carolina. Y'all got to know this pod is also casual Vandy fans. We rep the Doors, being from Tennessee. We ain't no balls. We're Doors. And best team in Tennessee headed into South Carolina, got the dub. And just like I called, Diego Pavia showed out and won that game for Vanderbilt. Hell of a game by the Doors. And they deservedly, you will see them later in the Swiss Army Sports Top 25. I wonder how far this team could go.
I know. I mean, that defense, they shut even up to when South Carolina quarterback got hurt. They shut that offense down, and South Carolina was kind of in some shambles. And
They were.
I mean, if that defense is going to play that good against what I thought was a pretty solid offense, and I think most people thought that, we could see them go. I think they go into Bama soon. I'm just gonna say.
There's a really good chance we see an undefeated Vanderbilt head into Tuscaloosa, and I cannot wait for that game. The leaderboard has officially had some movement. I am now at the top at 10-9. Michael and Luke are tied for last at 9-10. And as we look at our top 25 scores, we've already talked about Georgia and Tennessee, 44-41. Indiana doing their usual shenanigans, beating up on teams, 73-0. Talk about that third game. Ole Miss hosted Arkansas, won 41-35. Luke, your prediction of Taylor Green was 100% correct.
Yes. I mean, that fumble late in the game, though, absolutely killed them. But, dude, these teams were scoring left and right. I mean, and also I want to throw something on Ole Miss's quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss. I think he should be the starter.
Yeah.
He looked miles ahead of Austin Simmons.
Austin Simmons, if he plays that entire game, Ole Miss does not win. And I stand by that.
And that's Austin Simmons has done this. Now they played Kentucky, which Kentucky is awful, but he's done this against bad teams. I don't think Arkansas, I'm not going to say they're good, but they're not Kentucky. And I mean, Trinidad looked awesome.
What we what I learned at least is neither of these teams can play defense worth a look against high caliber competition. Yeah, Arkansas should win this game. Point blank, fumbled towards the end, ruined it for them. Does this mean I'm impressed with Ole Miss? Slightly, a little bit more. But is it like, yeah, I'm buying on this team being a potential playoff contender? Absolutely not.
Yeah. And Arkansas just doing classic Arkansas things.
Classic. Auburn took care of business at homecoming against South Alabama. Jay's down, obviously, roll Trojans. But
thought they would have won by a little more.
Me too. Not impressed with the Fighting Tigers out of Auburn. Ohio State really struggled until the fourth quarter against Ohio University. 37-9 ended up being the final. I think this actually says more about the Bobcats. You just lacked a little bit of size and depth that Ohio State had that allowed this score to get to where it was. But I think we might be seeing a potential MAC champion in Ohio. They are a darn good G5 team.
Yeah. I mean, quarterback, I can't remember his name. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Sorry. But he was there last year. You have obviously got the
Navarro.
I mean, obviously did nothing against Ohio State, but like against some MAC teams, he's probably going to throw the ball around. They're going to be able to score.
I was just more impressed with Ohio's defense's ability to get off the field and try to give their offense opportunities. Obviously, that Ohio State defense is unreal.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to note Bobcats scored more than Texas did, didn't they?
I think so, because I think Texas only had 7, right?
Yeah. So, which we'll get Texas. Oh, my God. We'll get into that a little bit in just a second. That ball's incomplete. As we spoke about, LSU hosted Florida, 120-10, took care of business. Nothing special by LSU, but this was a gritty SEC game that they won, and their defense is unbelievable and made DJ Lagway look like Tucker Kilcrease. Miami destroying USF 49-12. Penn State did not cover yet again on a last-second one-handed grab by Villanova's tight end.
Dude, 4th and goal, that was awesome. I'm not going to lie.
Gotta love it. Oregon. Yeah. A little bit of a jet lag, maybe. They could have easily have covered this game, but they kind of let down at the end, put their backups in, laid down, 34-14. Don't think this is like any sort of alarm being sounded, but would have liked to see them do more against Northwestern.
For sure.
Let's dig into this. Texas, 27, UTEP 10. Shout out Scotty Walden, former head coach of mine. He runs a great program. However, this should have been a blowout if Arch Manning truly was that guy. And I think we can officially say that he's on fraud watch.
No, he is. I mean, Malachi Nelson, another former 5-star, played a lot better than him. I mean, he had 2 picks, but he at least threw for 200 yards and had a solid completion percentage. Arch, 11-25, 114 yards, and a touchdown and a pick. And,
no, they had to rely strictly on the running game.
And he had 50 yards rushing, which is whatever, but, like, I mean, you got to be better as a quarterback. I mean, that is not SEC level. They're in a little bit of trouble.
They are in trouble. Again, Notre Dame losing a heartbreaker at home against A&M. Illinois, their defense is unbelievable. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Maybe second best defense in the Big Ten behind Ohio State, shutting out Western Michigan 38-0. And that game it was so Big Ten. It was so Big Ten. They just literally grinded them to death.
Yeah.
It was like watching a slow-mo video of a cheese on a grater just slowly getting grated to death. They dominated. I know the score wasn't anything flashy, but they dominated that football game. And so did Vanderbilt as they paid visit to South Carolina. Diego Pavia, baller. Vanderbilt's defense. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, no, I was genuinely shocked. Like I spoke on a little bit earlier in the picks. 7 points from the South Carolina offense, basically through the 3 quarters Sellers was healthy. That is a problem for South Carolina.
It is a problem. But is it a problem for South Carolina, or is it more of a testament to this Vanderbilt team is legit?
I think it's a little bit of both. I do think Vandy's legit, but also like South Carolina with all the hype they've got coming into the year, you've got to put on a better show than that. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I did not think Vandy would win by that much. I thought Vandy would like have a touchdown at most, but winning by the amount they did is absurd to me. So
Oklahoma taking care of business on the road in a weird road game at Temple, 42-3. Temple just not a good football program. Oklahoma was expected to take care of business, and they did. Georgia Tech pulling off that upset, 24-21 at home against Clemson. Utah backdoor cover against the Wyoming Cowboys. Yeah, I'll give you.
And
Yeah, there you go.
Electric backdoor cover
Electric.
at that, because like they literally could have dealed it out like at the point where they were at the 20. Also, they were at like the other 40 with 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes to go, and they went 10-yard rush, 10-yard rush, 15, 10 to get all the way down there. Then they were just like, we're not going to deal with this. We're going to score. They went and scored. It was awesome.
Electric backdoor cover.
But so
Is the alarm being sounded for as slow as this Utah team took to get going? And their kicker is atrocious.
I was going to touch on that. I don't think it's mainly an alarm to be sounded. They did need to score a little more. But if you looked at their drive chart, it was like 70-yard drive, 5 minutes, missed field goal, 65-yard drive, 80-yard drive, all resulting in missed field goals.
And those are momentum killers.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, what, as an offense, you're like, dude, you have one job. We get you down there. You have to make this kick. And, I mean, start holding some tryouts because that was awful.
Michigan hammered Central Michigan. The what's his name?
Oh, my God. Hold on.
Connor.
He's the big fat dude. Hold on.
Biff Hoagie. Taking care of business. I was talking about the dude that was cheating.
Oh,
Michigan. Connor Stallions. This is the Connor Stallions Bowl, as he was once a assistant head coach for Central Michigan. Michigan 63-3. Apparently they have Batman on their team, according to Biff Bogey. Need to get a DNA test. Michigan take care of business.
I also want to touch on the Stallion stuff. Apparently, there was some illegal obtaining of I don't know if you've seen anything about this. Apparently, they obtained the information about the sign stealing stuff illegally somehow. So apparently, it might just all get voided.
Of course, it would.
So, I mean,
whatever. Missouri taking Walker Howard to school, 52-10 at home. This Missouri offense is legit. I'll tell you that much.
I know. When I saw Bo Buell's stat line, I was like, oh, how did that happen? And then as we'll get into our players of the week, I was like, oh, that's how that happened.
Absolutely. Bama looks like Bama again. Dominated this game from the start, 38-14. Scoreline, even though it was a 24-point game, was not an indicator of how this game went. Wisconsin had absolutely no answers for Alabama, and Alabama's starting to turn the wheels again. We'll see how they go into SEC play.
And I just want to ask you, does Fickle make it to the end of the year?
No. This Wisconsin team's atrocious. And we saw that, the alarm being sounded week 1 against Miami, Ohio. Barely skated out of there with a 17-0 win. It was like 9-0 for the longest time. Had to go for 2 to get 17. Texas Tech beat a very bad Oregon State team in a rain delay for a very long time. So still to come out there and put up 45 points, only give up 14. Pretty sure one of those in garbage time. Texas Tech looks great, and we kind of knew that was going to be happening from this Texas Tech team.
I mean, their quarterback threw for 464, so this is like the classic air raid Texas Tech teams that Kingsbury had. I mean, and, they play next week, the Utah Utes.
It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger of a game.
I know.
Can't wait for it. This is a team I want to talk about for a little bit. Okay. So we watched the majority of this game, had some investments on it. Iowa State goes on the road to a lower tier, a Sunbelt team in Arkansas State, scathes out of there with a 24-16 win. I don't even know if they should have won that game. Iowa State looks atrocious in week 3. Just realized the size. Hold on.
It's supposed to be week 3.
Yeah, it's supposed to be week 3. Y'all know what it is. Iowa State. Ouch.
Dude, I was like, I tell my dad some picks from our podcast, and this was one I was like, dude, I like this. You realize how long I'm going to have to hear about that?
We heard about it all day.
Yes, and there is no way Iowa State, you should be ranked as high as you are in the AP, and I think they're at 12 now. And Arkansas State was not a tough environment. There was like 15 people there.
Yeah.
Nobody was at the game, so it's like you're just like on a practice field Yes, you have to go to Jonesboro, but like you should have gone in there, taken care of your business, and left. There was no reason to be messing around with them that much.
That looked awful. So kind of just going around some non-ranked games, I want to shout out Houston. The Cougars improved to 3-0, beating up on Colorado and primetime, 36-20. They looked great. Connor Whiteman looks good.
Oh yeah.
This is a Houston team that could maybe contend in the Big 12.
Yeah.
We'll wait to see.
And Colorado looked awful.
Awful.
Like the quarterback play is not it. And then obviously they don't have a defense.
They don't have perfect timing.
They don't. And I mean, I just don't even know what to say. They have no one to retire their number now.
Yeah. In a weird non-conference game between two Big 12 teams, Arizona took care of business to move to 3-0 against the worst team in the Big 12. I'm going to go ahead and call it now, Kansas State.
Yeah.
They are awful.
Shocker.
New Mexico beat UCLA. We'll get into that. Any other games worth note?
You got to talk about Old Dominion.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second, too, on the next slide.
Oh.
SMU got out of Missouri State. A little bit of a scare early there.
Another weird road game.
West Virginia winning the backyard brawl in overtime.
All the game day propaganda for taking Pitt 7.5 got to my head. Of course, we put money on Pitt, and of course, they freaking lost. Like, oh my God, they should have been able to stop West Virginia in the second overtime, so they could have scored, gone for 2, and then covered. But of course, it doesn't always work like that.
Tulane beats Duke at home.
Little revenge game.
Little revenge.
Meant to lead them.
Mississippi State obliterates Alcorn State in a second half that had 10-minute quarters, 63-10 or 63-0. Excuse me. Yeah, a little high school action there. MTSU goes on the road and gets a win against Nevada.
I was completely shocked because MTSU has looked so freaking bad this year, and the fact that they won on the road in Nevada, which is a huge distance for them to travel, but you lose to Austin Peay.
Yeah,
it's college football.
College football,
it's
baby.
Anarchy. It doesn't make sense.
And last but not least, shout out to the Fighting Fluffy Cats of Bowling Green. Liberty's dead as far as a G5 powerhouse goes. 23-13. Liberty falls 1-2. Yeah. Moving on, we are now going to talk about You're Fired. Our first 2 head coach firings in college football in 2025. We're going to go over whether we think they're deserved or not and kind of give what got them there. First off, absolutely deserved.
Deshaun Foster.
Deshaun Foster at UCLA. This program is atrocious with a $1.5 million quarterback. How much he cost? Nico Imaliva left Tennessee to go play for the worst team in the Big Ten. You suffered a 43-10 loss to Utah.
Which,
understandable.
Okay. Ranked team, whatever.
Go on the road to UNLV and lose 30-23. Okay. Decent G5 program on the road.
Yeah, but for how UNLV's looked, I'm not saying it's bad, but on the road is the only thing that saves you there.
Absolutely.
Being on the road.
And then we had this week.
I want to say it's New Mexico's first Power 5 win since 2009.
I think it is. 35-10 at home, hosting the Lobos under a brand new head coach of New Mexico.
Who I want to also say this.
Deshaun Foster deserved it after this wholeheartedly.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the Lobos last year, now I know this was last year, they lost to Montana State.
Yeah.
So they it's not like they're like a Mountain West team that's usually up in contention. They constantly suck. And the fact that you got blown out at home, never should have fired Chip Kelly. I don't know why they fired Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly had that team winning 8-9 games a year and going to bowl games. But apparently that's not good enough because I guess they thought it was basketball and they should be winning national championships.
Yeah, UCLA, you're not that program. And this is what you get. 0-3, fired head coach. Moving on to our next fired head coach.
Oh man,
it's this football team made me want to have an aneurysm this week. Brett Pry, head coach of Virginia Tech, out after week 3, lost in a hard-fought game against South Carolina on a neutral field, 24-11. You were winning most of the game against Vanderbilt, but end up getting blown out in the second half, 40-22. Then this happens.
Yeah.
Rivalry game at home against Old Dominion, and you get railroaded 45-26, and they scored, pretty sure, all their points in the second half.
19 in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they had 19 in the fourth quarter, 7 in the third.
You lose this game by 7, you're not fired. You get dominated at home by Old Dominion. Ricky Rain, shout out you, dude.
Which also was, I'm pretty sure, and at least recent memory for me, Vatek always struggles with Old Dominion.
Yeah, it's a rivalry game.
I mean, I really don't understand why, but they will lose to, like, you'll have a Vatek team who's like, oh, we're going to be middle of the pack, probably go win 7 games this year, and they will lose to, like, a doormat Old Dominion team. But the fact that we looked up on the ticker and that it was 28-0 at the half, what are you doing?
It was bad. It was really bad. And, yeah, Brent Pry deserved probably to get canned.
1,000%.
Any guesses for who's next?
I think we touched on him a second ago. Fickle. I think Fickle's gone. There's no reason. I mean, hold on. Let me pull up their schedule. Let me see if they have any tough games coming up. Who do you think is going to be going next? I'm going to pull this up.
I think I'm torn between 2. And because y'all know why I don't want to say one, I'm going to go with Chris Kleiman at Kansas State. I think he is next. GP, Jared Parker, you can wait a little bit. I think Chris Kleiman will beat you to that punch. I hope, Weekends and Troy go up and win in Buffalo next week, and this is all washed underwater. But I don't think you can wash anything underwater right now for Kansas State. I think they may go 1-11, and I think they will absolutely have a new head football coach next season.
Yeah, Wisconsin, I really don't see a game they can win. Minnesota is always a rivalry game, so I think that's just up in the air. Maybe Maryland, because you're at home and Iowa's at home, but, like, I don't know, dude. You have looked pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, at least Iowa against another it's UMass MAC, right?
Yeah, UMass MAC.
Against another MAC team, they at least beat them like 40-something 10. I mean, like, they at least put up some points against an inferior opponent. So I don't even think Iowa beats or Wisconsin beats Iowa. So I think Fickle's gone.
Yep. I think it's safe to say Fickle is probably gone before the end of the year. Chris Kleiman for Kansas State, probably gone before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see some movement. We're going to see some movement in the head coaching world. And I also want to say Kentucky.
I was about to ask that. Do you think Stoops makes the year?
I think he makes the year. He's been there so long. I don't think they're going to fire him during the season. I think this is his last year at Kentucky, and you'll see John Summerall be the new head coach at the University of Kentucky next year.
Do you think he get fired, or does he just, like, resign?
He resigns.
Okay.
Yep.
I wonder how dirty they're going to do in your eyes.
The panic meter is back for week 3. Me and Luke give you on a scale essentially from 1 to 5 with how panicked we are on the team. The tiers go falling from we Gucci, as in the best, we good. Calm down, we good. I don't feel good about this. It's almost hit the fan. And then, oh shit, being the bottom tier. Our first team, the Tennessee Vols, lost at home against Georgia. Luke, we're in agreement. Calm down, we good. Tell me why you feel this way.
Aguilar, I've hated on him in the preseason. Dude, he looked phenomenal. I mean, he had the 2 picks, which a little expected against a great Georgia defense, but 24 for 36, 371, and 4 touchdowns. That is a great stat line against Georgia's defense, which I thought would step up a little. I didn't realize this was going to be this.
Yeah, there's some holes in that defense.
I didn't realize it was going to be this high of a scoring game, but I feel like you're fine. You're 1 kick away from being undefeated and being probably a definitely top 10, but maybe even high as the 7th team in the country.
100%.
So I think that's why we're completely fine.
I agree. Calm down, we good, ball fans, as much as I hate y'all. You're going to beat the hell out of UAB next week, so you're 3-1. Here's where y'all appear back on the panic meter, in my opinion. Davis Wade Stadium is going to be rocking for when an undefeated Mississippi State team play a Tennessee team who's presumably going to still be ranked after beating UAB. I think they falter here.
I think this is going to be a tough game. I already asked our producer. I possibly will be going down there.
I think I may possibly go down there as well.
It's a little Swiss Army Sports.
Swiss Army Sports. Davis Wade Stadium. We'll find out. I'm excited for that one. But Tennessee, don't panic yet. Y'all look good against Georgia. No reason to be up in arms about your kicker. Be nice to him. He's going to win you some games later in the year, I'm sure.
And he's got a cannon of a leg.
He does.
Too, so a lot of teams would love to have him.
Florida, you are on the panic meter. Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, the alarm is sounding. It smells. It's hit the fan. It hadn't almost hit the fan. It has hit the fan. This Florida team looks awful. DJ Lagway looks terrible. This looks like Florida teams we expected to see under Billy Napier. Completely underwhelming. I mean, looking ahead at
they have a
Florida's schedule, I mean, they have an extremely hard schedule.
They got
to go to Miami next week. Then they play Texas. Then at A&M. Then they play State in Georgia. Does Billy Napier make it to the end of the year?
Oh, man, that's another good one because, like, they have the talent. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that they can't go out there and, like, win games, I mean, I do think a lot of it's on Lagway. Some of those interceptions were awful. The one where he's rolling out trying to throw it away and it does not make it out of bounds. Like, come on, dude. You have to launch that thing to get it out of bounds. And then some of the all the interceptions, he looks first read, he stares first read, he throws first read. Like, there's no movement with the eyes to look off safeties or anything. I mean, it's straight. That's where I'm going.
It'll be interesting to see how our midseason playoff predictions set up compared to our preseason. I'm worried about Florida making a bowl game at this point.
Too. With that schedule, it is very unlikely that they make one.
I'm pretty sure we were all pretty unanimously putting Florida in at the beginning of the year. Had high hopes for DJ Lagway. Looked great last year. Yeah. Bowl game is a question mark at this point for Florida. You are in the red category. Oh, shit. South Carolina, you're on the panic meter. Luke, I'm going to go first because you're a little bit on the more severe end. I don't feel good about this because I think Lenore Sellers is out 1 to 2 weeks max. Now, do I think this is a playoff team anymore? No. You lost to Vanderbilt. I think you've got harder opponents ahead of you. But I don't think this can be a complete unraveling for South Carolina this year. I think this is still an 8-win football team. I mean, next week you go on the road to Missouri, which will be a tough matchup. Mm-hmm. Then you get Kentucky at home. You can bounce back there. Then the schedule starts to get a little daunting. But you've also got Coastal Carolina on the schedule. Clemson looks winnable now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can very well go into A&M win. You could beat Bama. I mean, there's winnable games for as good as I do think the South Carolina team is. I think Vanderbilt may just be that good. And, I mean, I think there's a great coach in Beamer at South Carolina. He's going to get this team rolling. I'm not too worried yet. Luke, you are a little worried.
I am a little worried. I don't like – you got to think, expectations coming into the year for South Carolina. We're going to the playoff. We've got this young core. We've got a great receiver in Nick Harbor. We're quarterback in Lenore Sellers. We got some great players on defense like Dylan Stewart. I mean, I also think Dylan Stewart got hurt last night. Don't know if it was a pride thing or if it was an actual injury. He did go back in the tunnel late in the fourth. But, I mean, the fact that Vandy scores 31, that defense is extremely suspect. And I get your backup quarterback was in, but, like, the fact that you
They didn't really do anything with Lenore.
I know. So, like, if you're not scoring, which I do think Vandy's good, but, like, if you want to play against some of these good teams, you've got to be able to score and show the ability to stop. And we talked about this week 1. That secondary is awful. Yeah. They cannot stop a soul. And I think that's going to be their downfall because their front's pretty solid. Vandy, I don't think, ran it, like, all up and down them as much as they were able to just, like, find wide open receivers.
Yeah.
So
I saw the same thing. Yep. I mean, definitely some big question marks in the secondary. I'm just not at it's almost at the fan stage of it yet, but I don't feel good about this. I'm a little worried for you, Cox.
Yeah.
USF, you are on the panic meter in terms of G5 playoff contention, obviously. Calm down, we good. And I think you agree.
And it's just, I think we're only on the panic meter today because of how bad they lost.
Yeah.
That is really it. But I got the very light I don't think they play Tulane.
They don't.
You got a pretty light.
You got to beat Memphis.
Yeah, that's really it. And
apparently, I think they play North Texas.
yeah, they do.
Man, North Texas looks good.
Oh, I know.
The American this year is making up for how bad it's been in the past previous years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good top heavy conference. The bottom is to the bottom. UAB, Temple,
and Navy hasn't really looked good because Tulsa was winning that football game this weekend for a while. So
don't know how they were getting votes in the AP poll.
Yeah, don't even. Just don't.
What a catch, Jalen Naylor.
We need some points here.
We do. We need some points. But yeah, not much to be said. We've already covered a lot about USF. Calm down, we good. Bulls fans, we're still riding with you. Don't worry. Notre Dame, welcome back to the panic meter. We're not going to be as nice this time. Luke, I don't feel good about this. Mm-hmm. Tell me why.
I mean, if they had lost to two unranked teams, like obviously we see Miami looks freaking dominant. And I'm on the edge closer to the Ole Miss at the thing because you have lost two games. But Texas A&M, I mean, we played Marcel Reed in high school. That dude's an absolute dog.
He was an 8th grader, and he destroyed us.
Yeah, he's a dog. So, like, but I am a little worried because, like you said, the closing games is kind of an issue. So, but I don't really feel good because I don't think they're making the playoffs.
That's why it's almost hit the fan.
Okay.
They've got to have some stuff happen now for them to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. These were your two games that if you would have won, you probably could have lost two more and made it. However, you didn't get it done. I'm still not a buyer in this A&M team yet. I think it was more Notre Dame lost this game than A&M won it. 41-40, high-scoring affair. You gave up that many points to an A&M team that usually falters in the big moment. Marcel Reed usually falters in the big moment, and they didn't pressure him enough and gave A&M plenty of room in the secondary, plenty of time in the pocket. They were able to piece him up and go down and win that game. I'm panicking if I'm a Notre Dame fan, especially if you have playoff aspirations. Yeah, you can still go 10-2. But you have to have some stuff happen now. Yeah. And I don't think it's good for the Irish.
As a Notre Dame fan, you really got to hope USC when you play USC. USC
right now, I mean,
could happen.
It could happen.
But you got to hope USC is a top team in the country because if not, you're not making the playoff with this pretty weak schedule.
100%. Texas, welcome back to the panic meter. Despite being 2-1, you've won 2 games. You've been on the panic meter 3 weeks in a row. That's because it keeps getting worse for you, dude. Mm-hmm. It is almost hit the fan. You agree? You're only beating UTEP 27-10. Arch Manning throws for less than 120 yards. He has less than a 50% completion percentage. Is it time to move on to Troy legend Matthew Caldwell, backup quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, if you are Sarkisian?
No. Just no. Because, I mean, I think obviously the mobility's fine with him, but, like, my God, you would have thought Manning, way better passer.
What was his QBR?
26.5.
That's awful. And this is against UTEP.
Yeah. And, like you said, shout out Scotty. But,
I mean, I get it. Scotty Walden get his boys out to play. But you're supposed to be Texas. Mm-hmm. 7th team in the country. I'm sorry, AP voters, the 7th team in the country doesn't beat UTEP 27-10 and struggle the entire game.
Yeah. I mean, at the half, you had only had 14 points, and it was 14-3. I mean, it was really just disappointing from Texas, especially since they have all these big aspirations of going very far this year.
And the reason it's almost at the fan also for me, because as a state supporter, now I'm circling this game as, okay, we can win. We're at home. Arch Manning looks terrible. This is a game we can win. And that's something I did not absolutely think was fathomable at the beginning of the year.
Anybody did. So.
Yep. Texas fans, be worried. Clemson, you are absolutely on the panic meter. 1-2. Your one win is now against 1-2 Troy at home, and you should have probably lost that game. Granted, we were big on Georgia Tech at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. We're big on Haynes King. That's why it's not in the oh shit category for me is because it was such a good quality opponent in Georgia Tech on the road, and you lost on a walk-off field goal. The offense scares me, though.
Yeah.
Defense is good. Offense scares me.
I know their star receiver being out again this week obviously doesn't help, but like Cade Klubnik, I thought coming into the season was gonna be like in New York at the end of the year.
Me too.
So I don't know where this is, but I will say this: with these Cade Klubnik Clemson teams, they always turn it up in the last half of the season, and then they make the push, and they almost make the playoff, or they do make the playoff. Because last year we saw the same thing. They struggled in the beginning of the year, then he turned it up and just started going nuclear. So,
yep, that's why I'm not panicking fully yet.
yeah.
But it has almost set the fan in Clemson, South Carolina. Sorry, Mary. Bad freshman year, dude. Sorry for you.
The SBA curse follows, man.
It follows. Moving on, away from things of sorrow, like the panic meter, to our dogs of the week. As a dog, I hate putting this on there. However, I give respect where it's due. Division II national champion at a fair state transfers to Ole Miss. Backup quarterback shouldn't have been the backup. Trinidad Chambliss, 21 for 29, 353 passing yards, 62 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them rushing. You are Will Spain's dog of the week in a great home win against Arkansas. Luke, I love yours.
So, I mean, when I saw this, I kind of thought it was a typo. When you're averaging 11 yards a carry, that is freaking absurd. We got 22 carries for 250 yards and 3 tutties. That was back to my point. When I saw the score and I looked at Prebula's stat line, I'm like, that's really weird. He only threw for 150. Then I saw this dude, Ahmad Hardy. Holy crap. He obviously ran all over. I think they played Louisiana, right?
Yeah, the Raging Cajuns.
And my God, on a whole nother planet. Like you said, this Missouri offense is good. They might be a little sneaky sleeper team to upset some people in the SEC
I agree.
this year.
Eli
Drinkowitz, great coach.
Coach Drake has had Missouri moving in the right direction ever since he got there. And, man, when you play a team with such a prolific rushing game, it is hard because then you have to honor that rush. And then that gets you in trouble against the pass. And they have a great quarterback there, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, your dogs of the week, Trinidad Chambliss, Ahmad Hardy. Congratulations. Now for the good stuff. Your Week 3 Swiss Army Sports Top 25. Starting with still the reigning, defending, undisputed number 1 team in the country, Ohio State. We have some movement, though. Moving up to number 2. From number 3 are the LSU Tigers. Moving up from number 5 to number 3, the Miami Hurricanes. Moving down after not covering 3 weeks in a row. We're punishing it a little bit. Penn State, not a good strength of schedule so far. Haven't seen anything too impressive.
We got some breaking news here. Joe Burrow might miss 3 months.
Joe Burrow, turf toe, could miss 3 months if surgery needed. Wow, that is going to be we break news. We break news over here. That's a big news for the Bengals. Although backup looked good today.
Yeah.
Number 5 Georgia, 6 Oregon, 7 Illinois, looking great. Florida State jumps up 2 spots on the bye week. Love a little bye week jump.
Hey, beat BYE, man.
Yeah, man, beat BYE. Florida State 8, A&M. Welcome to the top 10. You're sitting at 9. We'll see what you can do with it. 10 Oklahoma, 11 falling out of the top 10 is Texas, 12 Texas Tech, 13 Ole Miss, 14 Bama, creeping their way back up. Welcome to the poll. 15 Vanderbilt. You are well deserved. 16 Indiana, hadn't played anybody out. 17 Utah, faltered against Wyoming, but still won by a decent margin. Tennessee falls to 18, not too much. Welcome to the poll. Georgia Tech at 19. Iowa State, we shun you, yet you're still at 20 due to really having no reason. Yeah, the producer hyped you up, dude. 21, Michigan. 22, Missouri. Welcome to the poll. 23, BYU. 24, Auburn. Welcome to the poll, Wardam Eagle. And we couldn't just put you out, dude. I think it is unfair to the AP poll to bump you all the way out, losing to who we have as the number 3 team in the country, Miami. 25, the South Florida Bulls. Your resume still stands to be top 25. here's where you can start to see our disagreements. We have 4 receiving votes, 3 voters, and we had 4 differentials. With 6 points, the Clemson Tigers. USF had 7, just for reference. With 2 points, the South Carolina Gamecocks, 1 point Notre Dame, and 1 point USC. Luke, who's your biggest surprise this in week 3 of this season appearing in our poll?
Like, if we're talking before the season, obviously.
Yeah, before the season started.
Obviously.
Like, who are you surprised we put in?
USF, obviously, from before the season, but also Vandy to be this high this early on. I mean, I thought they'd be like a solid team this year. Be 15th in the country in our poll. That's pretty surprising to me.
I'm going to go with LSU at 2. Don't think we saw them being a top 2 team before the season started. Vanderbilt, obviously. And I'm going to give A&M a shout-out. Top 10 team. Didn't see that happening, neither for Florida State. So,
yeah, I was going to say Florida State because I'm looking at the poll on your computer, and I completely forgot Florida State.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the state people. Notre Dame's 0-2, still ranked at 24. Okay, fine. You bumped out South Florida and South Carolina. BYU bye week gets bumped out. I had USC ranked 25, so I agree with that ranking. I mean, I would like to see Vanderbilt a little higher. Tennessee didn't move at all. I would like to see them get punished a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you lose, you have to drop at least a spot. Because I think of mine, I had them dropping 1 spot, I think. So
I agree. I just don't get Texas still being at 8. In Florida State jumping Illinois on a bye week. Man, give the Illini some due. They just don't give up points. They score a lot. Oregon.
Iowa State jumping 2 spots. I get people lost, but like Iowa State looked awful this week. And the fact that they jumped up to 12, they are not the 12th team in the country. No. I don't even think they're a top 20 team in the country because they obviously beat Kansas State, who we all thought was like a good team, and we saw what happened with that.
Yeah, so now you're looking at Iowa State team who's 4-0 with wins over 1-3 Kansas State, FCS South Dakota,
Iowa,
and 1-2 Arkansas State. That's your 12th team in the country?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Moving on to the NFL. It's a good week of picks for the boys, especially the producer, who did not miss a pick in the early morning window. Thursday Night Football, we all had Green Bay. They showed why we all had Green Bay. Dominant on defense, made Jay Daniels very uncomfortable getting a win. You liking what you're seeing on the Packers?
I am. That defense looks really good. I mean, even though you don't have like the star-studded names on offense, Jordan Love looks great. Josh Jacobs are able to run the football. I mean, I hate the Packers. They have made me cry as a Cowboy fan on so many occasions.
Oh, 100%.
But they look really freaking dominant, and it scares me.
It scares me too. Man, talk about the cardiac Cowboys. And potentially probably the game of the year in the NFL. Banger of a game, even though I don't want it to be against the New York Giants. Our savior, Brandon Aubrey, comes in clutch, ties the game late as time expires, 64-yard field goal, ends up winning it in overtime. The boys are on the board, and I think that's important to say. You put up 40 points against an NFL team. Defense is obviously going to be an issue. We are absolutely the Cincinnati Bengals of last year.
Yeah.
Granted, top corner was out, so Malik Neighbors was going to be an issue, and he exposed us all day for that. Get Deron Bland healthy. I think we're just a better team than people are going to give us credit for right now. You saw what we did against the Eagles last week. I mean, hell, we played better against the Eagles than the Chiefs did.
Yeah,
so
that is where my confusion is because I get Bland was out, but this Eagles offense should be way better than the Giants offense. I get Dable's a great offensive coach, but Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, are we in Seattle? Like,
I know.
That is absurd. This offense, I get you have Neighbors, and Wan'Dale Robinson, I think, is a very underrated receiver.
I agree.
But they should not have dropped 37 on us.
No, they should not have. But very happy to get out there with the win. The boys swept on that pick. I was wrong. The Tennessee Titans, they fought for a majority of that game. LA pulled away late. Didn't get to catch as much this game as we were watching Red Zone because it was just not a game of interest to Scott Hansen and the boys. LA looked good.
Yeah.
Tennessee, they just have a lot of questions on defense right now. Offense is solid, in my opinion, but offensive line's got a little bit better on protection, and the defense has so many holes.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford was able to take complete advantage and get a nice, comfortable win in Nashville.
I want to ask you this, though, because after last week's drama with Brian Callahan, do you think he makes it to the end of the year? Because this is his third year?
No.
Or second year?
We're going to see an interim head coach in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yep.
Because, I mean,
I think you have the talent to be good.
Yeah.
It starts to become a coaching issue at some point.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Rams, that receiving core, dude, hey, that is a damn good receiving core. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, like,
they're scary.
Stafford's just freaking feeding Nacua. Then you bracket Nacua. Then he just starts feeding Adams. And it's just like, that is going to be an offense that is going to be an extremely good one this year. And they could go far with it.
Absolutely. I agree. Shocker of the day, in my opinion, the Seattle Seahawks win on the road in Pittsburgh 31-17. The producer, only one that had that one. Me and Luke were incorrect. Man, the kickoff killed him.
I know. And also, I do want a little bit of an explanation, if you know, but it hits them, then it goes over. Obviously, it's muffed. It doesn't look like Seattle ever had clear and obvious possession to me.
So I think they ruled him down because he did cover it up, had possession, 2 knees in bounds, and then slid out of bounds. I think that's what they gave him. I don't think he ever touched it, actually, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it mattered, so they didn't look at it. Because it's a live ball anyway. When it's a kickoff, do not know what the hell he's doing. Not going to get that.
That is some middle school crap.
Middle school, JV, high school stuff. Dude, credit Sam Darnold. 2 touchdowns, 295 yards.
Yeah.
Seattle may not be as bad as we thought they were going to be, but I think Pittsburgh is coming back down to what I thought they were going to be. So a little bit of both.
Yeah. Absolutely sold my parlay today.
Yeah.
Stole.
Let me talk about disappointing. The New York Jets absolutely had nothing for the Buffalo Bills, 30-10. The Bills looked incredible. But I'm going to go into this. I think the Jets were the better team in the first half. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot with penalties over and over again.
And turnovers. Fields had the fumble.
Yep.
So, I
I think
Jets stuff.
Yeah, I think this Jets team is a pretty good team. Score did not reflect how they played today. They made too many mistakes, and the Bills, as they should, capitalized upon them. I was the lone person wrong on that one. What did you think of the game?
I mean, I will say this is a little bit of a worry for me. I think they only had like 150 yards total offense.
Yeah, that's the alarm.
That is a very big worry because, I mean, the Bills' defense, now granted, the Ravens have a great offense, but they just scored 40 on the Bills. The Jets should have came out there and been able to score a little bit more. I mean, like, what did they end up with today? It was like 10 points, and it was a garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, you really should have been able to score a little bit more against the Bills. So that's just my
100%
fault.
The Detroit Lions absolutely massacred the Chicago Bears. In a game I thought they were going to run the score up on Ben Johnson, and they did. And they continue to until the final whistle blew. 52-21. Are the Lions back, or are the Bears that bad?
I think it's a little bit of both.
I think so too.
The Lions, like, obviously the offense in week 1 was just non-existent, but I think the Packers are going to shock a lot of people this year.
I agree. I think the Packers defense is so prolific, they kept that Lions offense at bay. But we saw them come out today against a weaker Bears team, a Bears team that people were big on. And I just wasn't. And I think it was kind of re-exemplified today in this thrashing the Lions gave them. It's the Lions of last year, putting up 52 points.
And I love, as a Jared Goff fantasy owner, I was in love. I was like, we're in the fourth
5
quarter.
touchdowns.
We're in the fourth quarter, and I'm like, I wonder if they're going to put him back out there. I get a notification, throws a 15-yard touchdown to Amon-Ra. I mean, and I had Gibbs today too, who had a nice little 18 points. But my God, they killed them.
They did. It was a bloody massacre, as was our next game where everybody got it right. The Ravens get back on track against a beaten and battered Browns team. Joe Flacco did all he could to keep them in as long as they could, but the Ravens started piling it up. Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns, 225 yards. Derrick Henry, bad game.
Man, he did nothing.
and you got to contribute that a little bit to the elite defensive front Cleveland has.
for sure.
But no alarms being sounded for me. 41-17. You took care of business. As did the next team under Mac Daddy Jones, going on the road to New Orleans to beat the worst team in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints, 26-21. Mac Jones 1-0 as a San Francisco 49er.
He looked good too.
He did. Did anything stand out to you in that game, or was that just like a second-string quarterback for a decent team getting barely over the hump against a bad NFL team?
I kind of thought it'd be the score would be a little different. I want to give some credit to Spencer Rattler, though. Spencer Rattler looked great in that game. And if he's going to play like that all year, the Saints might actually win. I'm not going to say a lot,
but a few games.
A few games this year. And,
I agree.
I mean, as the Niners, you should have stopped. You should have stopped that. The Saints had a drive at the end of the game to go down and try and win. That should have never happened. But
wholeheartedly agree. We were all right again. The New England Patriots took care of business against the second worst team in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. Tua is not looking good in terms of turnovers.
Yes.
He's having some bad turnovers. Looks better today, though, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just couldn't get the job done against the New England Patriots, who go into Miami and steal a divisional win, 33-27. Yeah. Anything stand out to you there?
Like you said, that Tua pick. Tua pick, he threw it right to the guy. Like, the receiver, I think, was 10 yards back behind him. I think it was a linebacker. And he throws it right to him. The alarms are going. I don't think Mike McDaniel makes it through the year.
Me neither.
Because I think
I think the locker room's dead to him.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. I think, as we know on Swiss Army Sports, big culture guys.
Big culture guys over here.
And I think he's lost the culture.
I wholeheartedly agree. Shout out this next team, the Cincinnati Bengals, with their backup quarterback, Joe Burrowless. Me and Michael end up getting it right. You get it wrong. The Bengals stave off the Jaguars to win at home, 31-27. Trevor Lawrence just did not play well enough to win that game, and I think that's what it boils down to. Not used to seeing the Bengals defense win a game for them, but they definitely did today with Jake Browning
throwing 3 picks.
But, backup quarterback called upon to go in the game, throwing for more than 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. You take what you can get from your backup. I think he was serviceable as J.J. McCarthy threw a pick. It was just a hell of a pick, to be honest with you.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So, shout out Bengals. You're 2-0 in a gritty game against Jacksonville. Anything stand out to you there?
The Lawrence interceptions. I mean, if they're going to be, which I do think they'll win the South this year, but, dude, you can't be throwing interceptions if you're going to win this game, because I really thought Jacksonville was going to win this game. I was like,
I did for the longest time while watching it.
Browning's in. He just threw his 3rd pick. There's no way they blow this. And then, obviously, as we see, the Bengals go down and score last second. So,
in our Sickos Committee game of the week, the Carolina Panthers damn near come back and win this game. A lot of penalties, getting onside kick. 22-27. With 5 minutes left in the game, they were down 27-9. Bryce Young woke up, threw 55 passes, only completed 35 of them. The Cardinals, none of us had them winning, so we all lost this game. I think, despite being 2-0, there's a lot of alarms being sounded in Phoenix, Arizona for their absolute inability to win or close out games in the second half, especially the fourth quarter. They did the same thing last week against New Orleans.
No, yeah. I mean, I can't. My dad was extremely angry because he had the Cardinals to cover, and the fact that they got that onside kick, I mean, the Panthers got that onside kick is absurd. But they did make Bryce Young look like a child running out there with their own midget, he had a really bad interception. So he tried to throw over a D lineman, thing got batted up in the air. But Arizona, 2-0. Very strange.
I can't wait to talk about this next game. The Indianapolis Colts host the Denver Broncos and beat them on a vaulting penalty, touching the snapper on the missed field goal, leads them to a 45-yard field goal after a 15-yard penalty that is drilled by Spencer Schrader. And the Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones are 2-0 for the first time since 2009. Bo Nix, fraud.
I don't really know if that was like as much of a Bo Nix issue as it was. Why are you trying to block that kick at 60 yards?
He didn't even have the leg to get it.
I know he came up short. Like that is just the most boneheaded play. You try and block it off the edge. You don't do anything stupid. You win that football game.
Yep.
I mean, my gosh, that was so stupid to me that they tried to do that.
Bo Nix, only 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Danny Dimes, dude, 306 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Daniel Jones looks resurrected in Indianapolis, and I'm excited to watch this Colts team go forward. Potential AFC South was on.
I know because they have the defense, or
absolutely,
obviously not today, but their defense isn't bad. They've got a good offensive line, and you got Jonathan Taylor. So I mean, they were just missing a quarterback last year because obviously AR was not the answer. But,
no,
I mean, I'd be excited to be an Indianapolis Colts fan.
I would be too. We didn't think the Kansas City Chiefs could go 0-2. We were proven very wrong as Philly kind of controlled most of this game despite what the scoreline was. It just kind of felt like a game that Philadelphia just had in their hands and had to lose themselves. Kansas City scored late to make it 20-17. Philly was able to get the onside kick, get a first down in the game. Michael, the producer, had it right. Me and you had it wrong. Mm-hmm. Kansas City 0-2. They alarmed.
Yeah. I would be a little bit because Pat Mahomes, there's a few throws today that he missed. There was a wide open.
Yes, there was. I saw him.
That he absolutely missed. And, you're not used to seeing Patrick Mahomes do that. Now, I do think it did kind of suck because Kelsey ended up basically giving them an interception because it hit right off his hands.
Yep.
But Mahomes, 16-29, 187 for a touchdown. I mean, that's not.
No, I have him in fantasy. Was nothing spectacular. Yeah. Definitely a little bit concerned. Sunday Night Football right now, the Atlanta Falcons up 6-3 against the Minnesota Vikings. JJ kind of looked like he did in the first half against Chicago, just not as bad. Defense, both sides stepping up here. Ooh, offsetting penalties. Wow.
Nick Jefferson and Bijan will score, though.
Yeah. We all three have the Vikings. We all three have the Bucs beating the Texans tomorrow night in the first Monday Night Football game. And we all three have the Chargers beating the Raiders on the late Monday Night Football game, which I believe segments us to. Oh, well, there's the picks leaderboard before this week, not updated. Teams of the week and teams that are weak. My team of the week is the Sam Darnold-led Seattle Seahawks. Did not give them enough credit at the beginning of the year. Had them going 5-12, which they very well still could. But they went on the road and got a 2-touchdown victory against a team that looked really good in week 1, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now you're weak. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns are bad, dude. I mean, they're just as bad as we thought they're going to be. Joe Flacco, love you, man. He's too old to do it himself. They have some bright spots in Quinshon Judkins, Jerry Jeudy. Joe Flacco himself didn't look bad. Defensive line looks great. It's missing way too much in the secondary and at linebacker and just at other weapons at wide receiver in the offensive line. Now you're weak. Cleveland Browns. Luke, what are your of the week and now your weeks?
Team of the week's obviously the Lions. Great bounce back win this week after losing a game that a lot of people had you winning against the Packers and just coming out here and assaulting the Bears.
Oh, they assaulted them.
Really graphically assaulting the Bears and scoring 52 points. Kind of your offense established a good rhythm. Defense obviously played well. That is why they're my team of the week. Now your week. This was so frustrating because I needed the Steelers to win. You're at home. You want to talk about the Cowboy defense being bad. This Steelers defense is also terrible.
Terrible.
You would have thought the Steelers are usually built on their defense. This defense is awful. You left 35 up to the Jets, which Jets we think will be solid. And you let up another 28 to the freaking Seahawks.
31.
Oh, 30. Sorry, excuse me, 31. Sam Darnold is
back-to-back 30-plus points games against their defense.
Sam Darnold is not with Kevin O'Connell anymore. He shouldn't, obviously I think he's a solid quarterback. He should not be throwing for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns against y'all. I mean, this defense, I don't know what it is. I'd be a little worried. The Ravens might drop 90.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad news in Pittsburgh, even after winning week 1. Dun 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 dun
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Da, 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 da. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Monday night football doubleheader. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, and Buka head to the worst offensive line in the NFL in Houston, the Texans, followed by Herb Daddy and the LA Chargers facing off against Pete Carroll and Geno Smith in the Las Vegas Raiders the Raiders on Monday night. Luke, we got some best bets for the people.
We did.
I'll let you kick us off. Give me your 2 picks.
The fact that the Bucs are not favored in this game
Oh my God, don't even get started.
is criminal. This Texans team is like, if you can't protect Stroud and give him time to find people, you're not going to win games. And I think that's simply what it comes down to. Obviously, I don't think the pass rush for the Bucs is like out of this world, but you got Vita Vea, who's an absolute force in the middle, and you got some solid guys out on the edge. I think they win this game. I think Baker does a good enough job, which I love Baker Mayfield, but does a good enough job to sling it around a little bit and win the game. And then I want to talk about Geno Smith. Now, he threw for 350 last week. There's no reason. I do think they're trailing most of this game. There's no reason he should not be able to throw for 250 yards in this game. I think you're getting both of these at plus money as well.
Yep.
So, and also the NFL, I'm okay with 2 Monday night games, but I think this Monday night game kicks off at like 9 o'clock.
I'm not going to be able to watch it, which sucks.
Yes, I have work the next day.
Me too.
Most of America works. Do better. Make it like both at the same time, or just don't have 2 Monday night games.
Yeah,
that's my only
I wholeheartedly agree. I like Herbert over on his passing yards, which is surprising, only 253.5. Love that. You can get it at minus 110 on DraftKings. And then also on DraftKings at plus 175 in Emeka Egbuka. Anytime touchdown, I believe he will get his number called again by Baker Mayfield and will score against this battered Houston Texans secondary. Those are your Monday Night Football best bets. All right. Saturday afternoon, we'll call it. We had a great UFC card. Noche UFC, Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. Well, Luke, it was a bad week for you.
Yeah.
You went 1-4 in your picks. I went just above even at 3-2. Kicking us off, Santiago Luna knocked out Kwong Lee in the first round.
Complete
2 minutes and 48 seconds. I mean, it was a kind of even fighting up until that point. 17 strikes by Luna, 13 by Lee. The knockdowns, no takedowns. So we were right about that. But he just got caught, knocked him out in the first round. So we started out 0-1.
Good way to start your debut.
Yeah, you're telling me. Kelvin Gastelum was a unanimous decision winner against Dustin Stoltzfus. Sorry for the butcher. Gastelum weighed in 5 pounds overweight, which I hate that this fight even happened, even though, I do like the fights happening for the cards purposes, but 5 pounds overweight's a ridiculous amount. Total strikes actually went to Dustin, 69-58, and he also had the only takedown. But Gastelum getting those knockdowns, just one, and kind of being out 6 struck. Looking at the stats, I honestly don't know how Gastelum won this fight. I guess he won rounds 2 and 3, but he definitely got dominated in round 1, in which we saw.
Yeah, I think he was gushing out.
Yeah, he was. So Gastelum, we were right. Unanimous decision. I think he even gave a decision call on that if you were listening. We had a round 3 knockout with Garcia taking down Jared Gordon, which Garcia definitely controlled most of this fight, had almost 30 more significant strikes, had 2 sub attempts versus 0. He had 1 knockdown. He had 2 takedowns versus 1, and total strikes were outstruck by 27. He was going to lose by decision anyway, but glad to see Garcia go out there and get the finish anyway.
Entertainment, man.
Yeah, entertainment value, although lost both that one. You had Rob Font, I had David Martinez. Martinez able to get the unanimous decision against Rob Font. It wasn't even really close. 6 strikes, 62-49 in favor of Martinez. Total strikes was 115-49 which
Jesus.
is an obliteration. Martinez comfortably won that one by decision.
Mhm.
Disappointed didn't get the knockout. He did almost have it late, but good to see Martinez absolutely going to be ranked now in the bantamweight division.
Man, we got some AP poll rankings out here. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that,
Surprise of the night, especially with how the fight was going. Gene Silva was piecing up Diego Lopez until Diego Lopez hit him with the spinning back elbow and dropped the Fighting Nerd. The Fighting Nerds are now 0-3 in their last 3 fights. A round 2 knockout, which Gene Silva was pissed with the stoppage. If you saw that, really thought it was an early stoppage. Shoved Diego Lopez. Both fighters stepped it up after mutual respect. I was right. Diego Lopez still has it in him. Don't doubt Diego.
and I love the fact that after the fight, he jumped up on the cage and gave the double bird to the Fighting Nerds. That was
man,
awesome.
there's some beef. Diego Lopez and the Fighting Nerds. Now, I'm a big Fighting Nerds guy, but I do like Diego Lopez, so I love a little bit of beef there. Fun to watch. Good card. Really
Solid
excited
card.
for this October pay-per-view slate we have coming. Ooh, some good UFC coming y'all's way. Last but not least, making the debut on the pod, the darts over in Europe, the PDC, the Professional Darts Championship, World Series of Darts Finals.
I thought you said BBC.
PDC. Me and the producer have a favorite dart thrower. He goes by the name of Michael Van Gerwen, MVG, currently the number 3rd ranked dart thrower in the world. He, if you watch any darts, is described to be too old, washed, out of his prime. Well, let me tell you what. He defeats Wessel Nijman, who is an up-and-comer at number 39, 6'5" in round 1. Defeats Rob Cross, 6'5". Defeats the number 1 dart thrower in the world, Luke Humphreys, decisively, 10-5. Then goes on to beat a hot Josh Rock, number 11 in the world, 11-6. And then the teenage phenom, Luke Littler, who has dominated everything PDC in the past calendar 2 years, honestly, 11-7 in the World Series of Darts final. MVG is back in darts, and I am not happier to announce this to the world. Michael Van Gerwen looked great on the board, and for anyone that cares about darts, or doesn't care about darts, start watching. You'll get into it. I promise. It's addicting.
It is very electric. Honestly, that's a bucket list. Go over to one of these events
100%.
and just start yelling things at the top of my lungs. It looks awesome.
It is electric stuff. Michael Van Gerwen, shout out, MVG, winning the World Series of Darts. And we'll wrap up the podcast with a little MLB talk. Sunday Night Baseball right now. The Red Sox up 6-4 on the Yankees in the top of the 9th. The Cardinals got it done today against the Brewers. I believe they got it done yesterday too, didn't they?
I think they did. Or I think they did. Or did
No,
they blow it?
8-9.
I think they blew it in the
They
ninth.
blew it in the bottom. Well, taking a peek at the standings now, because we're really getting to nitty-gritty time in the MLB. The divisional races are pretty much in hand. The Jays up 3.5 on the Yankees. Tigers up 6.5 on the Guardians. Mariners overtake the Astros, now up 1 game.
Kind of shocking. a little.
Yeah, it is. The Justin Jefferson, got to get down. Timeout. Let's go, Jay Jettis. Yes, sir. The Phillies have clinched. They're up 12 games on the Mets. The Brewers have clinched up 5.5 on the Cubs. And the Dodgers holding on up 2.5 games against the Padres. Looking at our wild card, the Yankees sit comfortably 3 games ahead of the bubble. The Red Sox only half a game. And the bubble team, the Houston Astros, are up 2 games on the Rangers, 2.5 on the Guardians. Do you see a team in the AL making a move, getting in over Houston or Boston?
I really only think the Rangers are going to be the ones who catch.
I think so too.
Because they're 7-3 in their last 10. I think that offense is still very prolific. Now, Nathan Eovaldi being hurt does hurt their rotation, but I think that will be really the only team that kind of sneaks in.
So I'm going to go get you here. I think it's going to be the Cleveland Guardians. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Hot baseball teams win. If they can finish out the season the way they are right now, winning 9 out of a clip of 10, I think the Astros are going to fall out. I think it's a Rangers-Guardians question. I think the Guardians could get it done. And I would like to see a little bit of drama heading into the end of the MLB regular season, which is such a long season. We need a little bit of drama heading into October. On the NL side, it's a much tighter race. except at the top. The Cubs, 8.5, comfortably above the bubble. Padres, 5 games above the bubble. The Mets are closely trailed. A game and a half behind the Giants, or behind are the Giants. 2 games the Diamondbacks out of nowhere. 2.5 the Reds, and then our St. Louis Cardinals kind of hanging around. 4 games behind. Which team takes out the New York Mets? Is it our Cardinals or is it somebody else?
I don't even know if anyone catches them because I think the Giants have a pretty solid schedule. I mean, I want to say if the Diamondbacks have shot back up here, they've obviously got a little bit of momentum. 1, 2 in a row. I mean, I would say it's the Diamondbacks, but I really don't think – I think the Mets are going to get bailed out and just have nobody catch them because I think they have the 3rd worst record since the All-Star break behind – they're just ahead of the Rockies and Nationals or something like that. I mean, the fact that they are 77 and 73 with how much money and talent is on that team is beyond me. But
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Reds. Surprise pick here to make it to the playoffs. I really like that offense in Cincinnati. Pitching staff has to be able to get the job done, but I don't think it's gonna be the Mets. They're 2-8 in their last 10. Someone's gonna have to overtake them. I'm interested as to who it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's the Cardinals.
I would love for the Cardinals to be in the playoffs.
Well, anyway, everybody, this has been episode 6 of Swiss Army Sports. Tune in next time. We will be recording on Wednesday, giving our week 4 of college football preview and week 3 of the NFL preview with special guest Trisha Spain. My mother will be joining the pod for a very interesting and first guest episode. This has been Will Spain and Luke Wallman signing off. Good night.